are here at ITM Live, and I'm so excited that you have joined us today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and I'm very happy to be here at California Q.
Yay. So just wanted to start out by giving folks a little bit of background. If you could tell us who you are, although I can't imagine anybody doesn't know who you are, and what you're up to.
My name is Kathy Schrock. I'm a retired, you'll be there someday too, technology director from a school district. I live on Cape Cod, and 20 years ago this year, I started a tiny little website to keep my bookmarks called Kathy Schrock's Guide for Educators. And a couple of years after that, Discovery Education started their site, and they picked up my guide, and I've been just working on that ever since.
That's great, and I can speak from personal experience. It was truly my guide to everything when I first started teaching as well.
Thank you.
And so how has it changed over the last 20 years and evolved?
So at the beginning, it truly was a little box of file cards that I had, and I learned HTML, and someone hosted it for free because they wanted to use me as a marketing tool for businesses. Huh. They knew that teachers were anxious for organized internet information,
right.
And so I created it, and then he used me as a selling point, which was perfect because I got it for free.
Win-win.
Yeah, win-win. And then I added, at first it was just categorized by subject and content areas, and I added links that I knew teachers would use. I was a library media specialist by training, so I pretty much knew curriculum. And then I started adding my own things as I learned more about technology. So the first thing I added was the critical evaluation piece, something that I'm passionate about. And so it evolved, and so there was always the content information for the teachers, and then there was my information. In 2012, subject directories, I don't know, became kind of passé because now we have all this instant way to share the information. So we closed that, and I created Kathy Schrock's Guide to Everything, which my husband thought was rather self-serving, but at least gives me license to include anything that I want in the guide. Right. And basically what it is every page goes along with a presentation that I'm doing. So I'll develop the presentation, put the links in on a page, and then I'll continue to add to it as I find new information.
That's great. So you mentioned a little bit about critical evaluation and that you're passionate about that. Can you explain a little bit more about how you define that and why you're passionate about it?
Yeah, I mean, as a library media specialist, we know that you just can't look at information and assume it's correct. And now, in this whole age of information is everywhere and created by everybody, you really have to figure out how to, first of all, figure out if the information meets your need, but then determine the bias and the credibility of the author and see if it meets your needs. If something is biased, doesn't mean you can't use it, just means you have to recognize the bias and find something on the other side to balance it out.
That's great.
So, yep.
Thank you. So what are you doing now? I know that you're doing some teaching as well as, of course, speaking all over. So tell us a little bit about the classes that you're teaching.
Okay, yeah, so I retired from the school district in June of 2011. And since then, I've been on the road again and go to lots of cool places because I get to pick where I want to go. Yay. And so, and met tons and tons of great teachers. So I do conferences in school districts and sometimes even summer professional development for organizations. And I teach online for the Wilkes Discovery Master's Program. And I teach a Web 2.0 course, which isn't really called that, and a mobile devices in the classroom course, which I've just recreated to be more up to date. So
great. That sounds so exciting.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound much like retirement that I'm familiar with, though.
Well, yeah, it is retire. I go to the gym at 5:30, at my office at 6:15, work till 11, and then I'm retired the rest of the day.
That's
so,
awesome.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. So what project or course that you're teaching are you working on now, or presentation slides that you're building that you're most excited about?
I just created one that I'm showcasing here called, what's it called? Weaving Information Literacy Across the Curriculum. And it goes back to my library media specialist roots, but in reality, information literacy is something that every teacher needs and every student needs. So it goes through the ways that you can become information literate. And it includes digital literacy and computer literacy and all that. But asking the right question, figuring out what you're getting, creating something that appropriate to the audience, which might not be the particular audience that you thought it was going to be.
Right.
Those kinds of things. So it runs the gamut. And then my one for for ISTE is entitled "Do the Ed Tech Hokey Pokey, Put Your Whole Self In," and that has some surprises in it.
Oh,
but
fun.
so that'll be a fun one. So if you're at ISTE, make sure you go to that session.
Yeah, definitely. So talk to us about any sort of educational lessons that your work life has taught you that perhaps weave through your entire career but are meaningful for you.
Well, the thing that I'm always passionate about continuing to learn, and good professional development in a school district or at a conference is imperative. And I think we've come a long way over the years in not teaching about the tool, but teaching about the ways you can use the tool to support teaching and learning meaningfully. And I see lots of districts buying technology and then realizing, for consumption, not a problem. That, students can find things, students can use the tool itself for creating things. But I'm really feel that creation by students at the using the higher order thinking skills is more important. And so that's where I'm doing a lot of talking about pedagogically sound ways to use technology.
That's smart. It's based in good sound practice, and I think that's what garners the respect that you so rightly deserve and continue to have.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm just gushing. I'm
sorry.
sorry.
Feel free.
keep going. So you have, authored your guide to everything, and truly it is such a robust guide to everything. What's next? What needs to be added to the guide to everything?
I've always been one to study something in depth for a year, whether it's really related to education or technology, may not be. But then I figure out how it can be used in schools, and then I develop a presentation about it, and then I'll have a new page. So it'll be just some new passion that will catch my eye. I have no idea what it's going to be yet, but it will come. And I'll be reading Popular Mechanics, and it'll also like, oh, that's cool.
Yay!
We can do that in school.
That looks fun.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. We so appreciate you taking the time out of your day, and I think that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and thanks everybody for watching.
Looking for more great ideas? Check out infiniteThinking.org to catch all previous episodes, as well as links to everything featured in this show. And if you've got mad love for the ITM, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Twitter and Facebook. And remember, you are the infinite thinking machine.
I am the